exhausted from the endless hustle, drowning in notifications? When was the last time you actually heard your own thoughts? In a world that never stops spinning, your mind racing with 1,000 to dose. What if the answers you're desperately searching for aren't found in the noise, but in the silence? Be Still isn't just a suggestion. It's the doorway to discovering who you really are. Want to know the secret that changed everything for me? Stay tuned. I was in my car last week, stuck in traffic, radio blasting, 3 text messages coming in, and I realized I couldn't remember the last time I'd experienced actual silence. Like many of you, I've become an expert at drowning out my thoughts with constant noise. But what if I told you that the most transformative moments in life don't happen in the noise, they happen in the stillness? What if the very peace you're chasing is waiting for you in the quiet places you've been avoiding? Today, we're diving into one of the most profound invitations ever extended to humanity. Be still and know that I am God. 8 simple words that could completely revolutionize your life. 3 weeks ago, I found myself working until 2 a.m. for the 5th night in a row. My eyes were burning, my back was aching, and for what? Another email? Another project? Another chance to prove I'm what? Worthy, important, irreplaceable? The irony wasn't lost on me as I scrolled through Instagram, looking at peaceful meditation quotes while simultaneously answering work emails and watching Netflix. We're literally consuming content about stillness while refusing to be still. Anyone else feel the absurdity of that? Or is it just me? This constant motion isn't just exhausting, it's dangerous. Studies show our addiction to busyness is linked to increased anxiety, depression, and even heart disease. But more than the physical toll, there's a spiritual famine happening. We're so busy managing our lives that we've forgotten to live them. Be still and know that I am God comes from Psalm 46, and the context might surprise you. This wasn't written during a peaceful retreat. It was written in the midst of absolute chaos. The psalm describes nations in uproar, kingdoms falling, the earth giving way, and mountains crumbling into the sea. Sound familiar? Feels a bit like scrolling through today's headlines, doesn't it? Yet in this portrait of complete disorder comes this countercultural invitation. Be still. The Hebrew word used here is Raphah, which literally means to let go, to release, or to surrender. It's not just about physical stillness. It's about soul stillness. It's saying, stop striving, stop fighting, stop trying to control everything. And here's the kicker. The verse doesn't end with just being still. It continues, and know that I am God. This isn't mindless meditation. It's mindful recognition. The stillness has a purpose, to create space for divine recognition. When we're constantly moving, constantly consuming, constantly producing, we leave no room for revelation. No space for the divine to speak. No opportunity to remember who's really in control. And spoiler alert, it's not us. But let's be real. Stillness terrifies us. And I think I know why. Reason number 1. We're afraid of what we'll find in the silence. What if I stop moving and discover I don't actually like myself? What if all the thoughts I've been outrunning finally catch up? What if I realize I've been building my life on the wrong foundation? Reason number 2, we've confused busyness with importance. Somewhere along the way, having no margin in our lives became a status symbol. Sorry, I can't make it. I'm swamped with work has become our generation's humble brag. I was at dinner with friends recently, and everyone was competing for who had the most overwhelming schedule. I quietly thought to myself, are we seriously bragging about our lack of freedom? When did imprisonment to our calendars become something to celebrate? Reason number 3, and this is the big one. Stillness requires surrender, and surrender feels like weakness. In a world that worships control, letting go feels like failure. But what if the strongest thing you could do today isn't to take control, but to release it? Now, I can hear some of you already sound great, but I don't have time to be still. Do you know what my life looks like? I get it. I really do. But here's the truth. You don't have time not to be still. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and many of us are running on spiritual and emotional fumes. So let me offer 4 practical ways to incorporate stillness into your life, even if you're busier than a one-armed wallpaper hanger. First, start small. 5 minutes of intentional stillness is better than 0. Set a timer, find a quiet spot, and just breathe. You don't need a meditation cushion or a mountain retreat. You need intention. Begin your day with this instead of grabbing your phone. It's revolutionary. Second, create transition rituals. One of the reasons we struggle with stillness is that we've eliminated the natural transitions in our day. Before technology, there was a clear separation between work and home, between day and night. Now, we need to create these boundaries intentionally. Try this. When you finish work, take 3 minutes of stillness before entering your home life. Sit in your car, close your laptop with intention, or take a short walk, making space between activities. Third, digital sunsets. Choose a time, preferably an hour before bed, where screens go dark. No exceptions, no negotiations. Your notifications will wait until morning, I promise. And fourth, practice the sacred pause. Throughout your day, when you feel anxiety rising or tension building, pause and speak these words. Be still and know that I am God. Then be still and know that I am. Then be still and know. Then be still. And finally just be. Let this ancient wisdom guide you back to your center, reminding you who's really in control. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this stillness stuff sounds nice for monks or retirees, but it's impractical for my reality. Let me ask you something. Is your current approach working? Is your constant motion bringing you the peace you crave? Is your perpetual productivity healing your anxious heart? The truth is, stillness isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, and it doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires a decision to stop treating rest as a reward for finishing your work, because your work will never be finished. But what about my kids? My demanding job? My responsibilities? Stillness doesn't mean abandoning your life. It means being fully present for it. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more you practice stillness, the more productive, present, and purposeful you become. Mother Teresa once said, "We need to find God, and God cannot be found in noise and restlessness." If one of the busiest servants of the poor found time for stillness, perhaps we can too. In the voice of truth, in the stillness, we don't just find peace, we find perspective. We remember that the God who holds galaxies together can certainly handle our problems. We recognize that the same power that raised Christ from the dead is available to us. The invitation is not to emptiness, it's to fullness. Not to nothing, but to everything that matters. Friends, in a world that profits from your constant motion, stillness is a revolutionary act. It's a declaration of independence from the tyranny of busy. It's a reclaiming of your soul. Start today. Find 5 minutes. Turn everything off and listen for the voice that whispers when everything else goes quiet. You might discover what so many before us have found, that in surrendering control, we gain freedom. In embracing stillness, we find strength. And in knowing who God is, we finally understand who we are. If this message resonated with you, would you consider sharing it with someone who needs this reminder? And in the comments below, I'd love to hear, what one step will you take towards stillness this week? Until next time, remember, be still. Not because you have nothing to do, but because you have something to receive.